日本時間6月11日、ドジャースの大谷翔平選手が敵地でのパイレーツ戦に1番投手兼 DH で先発出場をしました。この日の大谷選手は打者として9回にツーラン本塁打、そして投手としては6回3分の2、102球を投げ、6安打、4失点、自責点3、4四死球、6奪三振の力投を見せました。7勝目の権利を持ってマウンドを降板するも、8回にドジャースは逆転され、この日の勝ち星はお預けに。試合後、両軍メディアからは大谷選手の二刀流を絶賛するコメントが見られました。ここからはその様子を字幕付きでご紹介します。
Another day, another record for Shohei Ohtani, this time on the pitching front. Here are the lowest ERAs. Through 10 starts in Dodgers history, Shohei is at the top, 0.74 to start this season. Don Sutton in 1971 had a 1.14 ERA through 10. We all remember Fernando Mania and what he did as rookie and Cy Young season of 1981. You see Clayton Kershaw and Nap Rucker rounding out the top five. The 0.74 ERA, it sounds ridiculous because it is ridiculous. Shohei has started 10 games this year, 61 innings. He's allowed a total of 5 earned runs. Nomar, we expected him to be good in his first full season pitching with the Dodgers, but I'm not sure if anyone really expected to see this level of greatness.
Well, those who didn't expect it, you know, haven't seen Shohei, because not that we expect it, but you really can't set the bar on Shohei, because I don't think he ever sets the bar, because whatever you set, he's going to go over it, and that's the way he competes, that's what he expects from himself. So to me, I really didn't know what to expect. This is just something that I'm just enjoying. That's the way my mentality when it comes to Shohei, because what he does at the plate from the offensive side, and then going out there on the mound. We mentioned a few shows ago just watching his growth. I mean, we're seeing this is really his prime right now as we see him with the experience, the growth, the talent, everything. Yeah, it really is unbelievable what he's doing this year, both at the plate and on the mound.
I said it a couple years ago, said it last year. He is the best athlete, you know, current athlete in the world by a mile. It's not close. No disrespect to Patrick Mahomes or whoever won the MVP in the NBA. No disrespect. This guy, by a long shot, is the best athlete in the world. And we said it a couple times. Can you imagine if he wins the Cy Young and he wins the batting title in the same year? Because last year, it was a 304, won it, Trey Turner. He's hitting 301. So let's say Show hits 310 and wins the batting title, and then he has an ERA, let's say 1.5. Let's be real, okay, 1.5. He wins the Cy Young. That is absolutely insane. He has a chance to do that. Best athlete in the world, and in my opinion, the best baseball player who's ever lived.
Well, he leads the National League in OPS. He leads the National League in ERA among pitchers with at least 50 innings. So he is truly doing it on both sides of the ball. Well, Shohei has allowed just 1 run over his last 28 innings. And tonight, pitching at PNC Park in Pittsburgh for the first time in his career. Right now, let's go back to PNC Park. Dave Roberts on his starting DH and pitcher tonight.
The only guy that I could eat, but I don't think he was overt about it, was Barry Bonds. You know, just I think he wanted to be the greatest player at that point in time, which he was, and win MVPs and hit homers and do all that kind of stuff. But it's hard to call your own shot in professional sports. Not many people, and I'm sure Michael Jordan or Larry Bird, guys like that, Tiger, guys like that, but that's a select group.
You look at just what Shohei Ohtani's been doing really since mid-May. Do you think just him getting back on track offensively, do you think that was managing the fatigue? Do you think was working through a few things mechanically and now he's just in sync? Or do you think that there was something else that's led to just the consistency we're seeing now with the results offensively?
I think it's more of the way his body, I think it's both. I think the way his body feels, and you know, when an athlete's body feels good, then it allows for them to perform optimally. And then his mechanics are synced up. So I think with those two things, now you're seeing a much more productive offensive player.
Well, Dodgers have a good one going for themselves tonight in Shohei Ohtani, who's won 3 straight MVPs, 4 in the last 5 years. No surprise he's the odds-on favorite to win it again this year, but something he hasn't done, Jerry, is win that Cy Young, and right now he's listed behind Christopher Sanchez and Jacob Misiorowski, according to the Vegas odds makers. Do you think he can close the gap and make it a clean sweep, winning both an MVP and Cy Young?
I think he can do that. Now, obviously, he knows what's going on. And listen, there's a lot of great pitchers in that National League. Sanchez has been outstanding. The Miz kid in Milwaukee as well. But I have a feeling, especially come the second half, we're going to see Shohei really put on the gas as far as being that pitcher, hunting that Cy Young. That's okay. And I'm saying this because we know that show pitches once a week. It's not like he's pitching every 5th day. That once a week, those extra 2 days off is going to help his arm. Now, we know he's an everyday player. Those legs are going to be a little tired. But they do a great job of monitoring and making sure he keep his body as fresh as can be.
It's really incredible is what he's done on the mound as far as Cy Young is concerned. When you look at that ERA, but it also tells you what a great year Misiorowski is having and Sanchez. They're having an incredible season. It also tells you how hard this is as well, because right now we're not even talking about the reigning Cy Young as well, Paul Skeens, and obviously he's a stud. You got guys even on your own team, Yamamoto. You have all these studs. So it'd be really impressive if he wins a Cy Young. We've seen guys win Cy Youngs and MVP and the same thing, but not what Shohei's doing, because let's take away the Cy Young. He's still MVP. You take away the Cy Young from all those other pitchers, they're not winning the MVP as well. Obviously, it's what they did on the mound, but what he's doing at the plate is just so impressive as well to go along with it. So hopefully he's able. I don't put anything past Shohei, so hopefully he can do both. Like I said, I'm one of those guys who said, listen, don't put anything past him and just sit back, enjoy the show, and enjoy what we're seeing, because what we're watching is something special.
Got fans of Ohtani, and then Ohtani himself getting ready for another start day where he'll be on the mound as the starting pitcher and atop the Dodgers lineup as a designated hitter. They got off to a great start in this series last night. Well, the top story on this day, the same as it is pretty much every day around here, Shohei Ohtani, and what is he going to do next? Try and follow up what he's been doing for the last month or so.
I mean, he has been just absolutely dominant. I mean, there are no real words to describe it. You look at the numbers, 144 batting average against. That ERA this year, 0.74. He's continued to absolutely dominate. It hasn't been a luck thing. It hasn't been. It's just go out and just pummel the other ball club. He's going against Jared Jones this evening. Jared Jones, the local kid from La Mirada High School. He's coming off of Tommy John surgery. This will be his 3rd start. He throws the ball extremely well. He's got a live arm, so it's really going to be a battle of power. And if the hitting matchup, Shohei 0 for 3 career against Jared Jones with 2 punches.
We talk about power. You know, Ohtani has that, and he's shown that off recently in his start dates, which wasn't the case to start his LA career. Kirsten Watson has more on Shohei, the hitter.
Yeah, Stephen, well, for Shohei, he's gotten back on track. If you look at the numbers since mid-May, he's batting over 400. But talking to him, he has shared the biggest difference from him has been his posture. That was a mechanical change that he had to work through. He says he's now seeing the ball better, which is leading to the results, and of course that consistency we're seeing from the plate. Dave Roberts today was just saying that when he looks at Shohei Ohtani, whether it's the pitcher or the hitter, right now everything is just in sync, and he's feeling really good, so they feel good as to where he's at, whether it's on the mound or at the plate, guys.
Shohei Ohtani gets a start, 4-time MVP, based on his hitting, really, more than his pitching. A year that 2 in there, maybe you combine both. This year, not only a great hitter, but look at those numbers for him on the mound. His 0.74 ERA would be by far the best in baseball. He doesn't quite qualify because they've been going with a 6-man rotation, but make no mistake about it, he has been the best pitcher in baseball this year. Jared Jones, meanwhile, struggled, understandably so, in his first start back in 20 months, but then picked up his first victory in his last outing, pitching 5 scoreless against Houston on Thursday. That was his first win since September 8th of 2024. Guys, as we head over to the Highmark Cup, we are going to see a lot of very, very fast fastballs in tonight's game.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, let's
just get right into it. Let's start with Shohei Ohtani. Michael, that .74 ERA,
is the third lowest through 10 starts in Major League Baseball history. He has been absolutely destroying, and it has not been a question why. He's commanding well, the velocity is good, and he just keeps hitters uncomfortable all the time.
Steven, I'm going to throw an O into that Ohtani and say his expected ERA is 2.34. So at the end of the day, it's a little elevated.
He's not even that
on the real
good.
side. Yeah, he's not even that good. No, he's really good. He's got 78 pitches. He can reach down in his back pocket and grab, but it's really the four-seamer, the sweeper, and the split that he's going to utilize the most. And you think about that, that's this way, that's that way, and that's this way. So he covers the entire zone with 3 pitches, but he adds another 5 on top of that. He's not easy to hit.
Yeah, not easy to hit. And one of the things that big curveball, that's something you got to look out for. He'll throw that. Here's the different about Shohei Ohtani. He'll throw all of his pitches at varying velocities.
Yes.
We'll see the fastball as low as 93 and as high as 101 in the same game, and he does it on purpose. You'll see that curveball anywhere from 68 to 79 like you just saw it. But you take a look at what he's able to offer here, there's no question why it's hard to hit. But it's interesting that he groups these all so close together in general. You know he's trying to go to that glove side.
Yeah, and I think that's a big takeaway. We've talked about with Skeens, even Jared Jones here in a minute. He owns that part of the plate. Most guys from Japan, they do, right? And then when they miss in, it runs in. Every now and then, you'll see him throw that sinker in. Very, very rarely, but he's going to own that side. He's going to go up more north to south and just east, not west.
Yeah, that curveball is going to still a 0 average on that curveball. That's his 3rd most used pitch. That is not normal.
Shohei Ohtani is going to start for the Dodgers, his first time ever in Pittsburgh, pitching against the Pirates, and a great pitching matchup for you here tonight. And we welcome you into the booth. Joe Block and John Wayner with you. Hannah Mears down on the field, and for the Pirates tonight, it will be Jared Jones opposing Ohtani, and Jones coming off a strong outing his last time around. It's going to be a fun marquee pitching matchup tonight. So extraordinary whenever Ohtani is in a ball game, but on the mound for the first time in Pittsburgh. And so tonight it will be a tough test for the Pirates hitters too.
It's ridiculous what this guy does. It really is amazing what he does. We saw it with the bat last night and throughout his career, but what he's doing on the mound this year is extraordinary. Like you said, I mean, he's given up 5 earned runs in 10 starts. His ERA's under 1, 0.74, holding opponents his last 4 starts to a 115 average. Look what he's done offensively. I mean, it's really, we're looking at the best player in baseball maybe of all time.
Yeah, hitting over 300. He's hit 11 home runs.
Park where the anticipation is building and fans are filing in to get a glimpse of Shohei Ohtani pitching inside of PNC Park for the first time and taking on Jared Jones, who will be pitching against his hometown team. Now, this is not the first time he's going to be facing the Dodgers, the team he grew up rooting for. If you remember back to Jones's rookie year in 2024, he tossed 6 scoreless frames against this team and struck out 6 as well. Jones said he was probably a little more amped up for that performance, being the first time in the big leagues he was taking on the Dodgers. But this time around, even though facing Shohei Ohtani is a cool moment, he said he's treating it just like any other normal game.
Another 3-2 from Jones. Fly to left field. Reynolds on the track at the wall. He jumps and takes one away. Brian Reynolds robs Ohtani and keeps this game scoreless.
Well, Joe, you guys were talking about Shohei Ohtani and getting on base, and DK would rather have him out. He said from the scouting reports back in the day, obviously he knew the power he had at the plate and the arm strength, but the thing that surprised him most was that speed, how fast he was as a base runner. So they don't want to see him on those bases with what he can do with his legs, too.
You know, I wasn't thinking about that a couple of years ago. Ohtani stole 59 bases in a year where he hit 54 home runs. Did you think you'd ever see a 50-50 player?
I don't think we'll see it again.
So back in 2024, Ohtani getting his 50th stolen base and his 50th home run on the same night in Miami.
Wow. That's something else.
And then a couple more. Isn't that the night he drove in 10?
I don't know, but that's a
10. Uh-oh. Opposite field. Carrying. And did he get it?
Wow, what a play.
Reynolds has the ball.
You see, Ohtani continues to work on what's been a humid day in Pittsburgh. Let's go down to stairs to Kirsten Watson, who's in the elements on the field. How are the Dodgers and Shohei specifically handling it?
Yeah, Steven. Well, as you've noticed, in between innings, when Shohei's gone down into the dugout, there is a massive fan that's down there. They actually thought about, the clubbies, they thought about bringing it into the dugout so that all the players could use it, but they find that it's really big. It's just a little bit more beneficial. So he has a whole little setup in which he can create just space for himself as well as time to cool off, because that's been the biggest complaint from the guys today. Yes, it's hot, but it's been the humidity that's leading just to so much sweat. And as you all know, that can create a little bit more challenge when it comes to pitching and getting the grip on the ball.
Against one of the leading Cy Young candidates in the National League. Yeah, EK, this is something you wanted to hammer home today. Right now, I mean, you're really engrave his name on the MVP trophy once again in the National League. But he is currently a finalist. Of course, a long way to go in this 2026 season. But the betting odds say he is the third best odds to win National League Cy Young, behind Christopher Sanchez of the Phillies and Jacob Mizorowski of the Brewers. And it's happening at the same time. It's silly. Still 3-2 on Callahan.
Well, what's interesting for me is I was having this conversation about a week ago, and they were talking about who is on the Mount Rushmore of baseball greats, right? Who is your Mount Rushmore? And, you know, is Ohtani there? So, no, he's not there. You know why he's not there? Because he's on his own mountain. Like, he is, that's where he is. And I know people may, oh, no, he hasn't. But the reality is, he is. And I don't want to hear about the Babe Ruth, right? No. I get the Babe Ruth thing of, yeah, he pitched for a few years, and then he turned into this dynamic hitter and, you know, didn't pitch anymore. This is, again, this is your own mountain.
And 8. Now, wins above replacement is not the be-all, end-all, right? It just tries to paint a picture for how valuable a player is. In imperfect science, sure, but he's on pace for 12.6 WAR. Strike one, line foul by Mangum. Only Babe Ruth twice, Doc Gooden, and Grover Alexander have ever reached a number that high in a single season in the live ball era, which goes back to 1920.
But here's the thing: I don't need WAR to let me know that he's that good. Like when I go to the metrics and everything, it's because I'm not sure of what I'm seeing. Or
Mangum's going to reach on a swinging bunt down the third base line.
I mean, again, that just, you know, that's the way you're going to get Ohtani. Something just so crazy, unpredictable, like you don't have it on your bingo card.
Shohei 0 for 4. He's had a couple of nice defensive plays made against him. In the air, left center field. At the wall, into the bullpen. Nobody there to rob that one. Ohtani's 12th of the year, and it's back to a one-run game.
That pitch was 99 miles an hour. He just flipped it out there. Came off the bat at 103 and just continued to travel 412 feet.
0 for 4 tonight, thanks to Brian Reynolds. Now to deep center, and it's a one-run game. No one can rob Ohtani of that home run, his 12th. Well, good thing Reynolds caught that ball earlier.
Oh, I'd say so. And that's what he can do. It's something else. Pitches into the 7th inning. Could have had 2 homers, except Reynolds robbed one.
A little bit off the end and still gets out.
Just incredible.
Well, now the tying run will come up here with only 1 out. Andy Pages, one of the best hitters in the league. So Ohtani allowing a season high 4 runs tonight. Brings 2 of them back. 9-8 in the 9th.
There was no bat hotter than his tonight, so we needed to cool you down for a moment. But Ty, your first big league home run off of Shohei Ohtani, nonetheless. Take us through what you were thinking after that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just pumped, ready to get back in the dugout, celebrate with the boys. I mean, he's a great pitcher, but we fought hard tonight and we got him.
So Shohei Ohtani's won 4 MVPs. We talked about that in the pregame show. I mean, and look, one year you could say probably pitching and hitting, but the other years he just did it because he's such a great hitter, and the pitching has been just merely
just a little add-on.
Really yeah. Good. Oops. Well, going into tonight's game, the best pitcher in baseball. I don't think there's any argument about it. He had a .75 ERA. That ERA is now over 1 after facing the Buccos. Yeah, they chased him out in the 7th inning. He looked really good for a really long time. Well, the Pirates got to him for 3 runs in the end.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Ohtani was showing a little bit of respect today for an offense that is a solid team. Overall, they have been able to do well, especially against some really good pitchers, because he was just throwing fastballs and sweepers. That is really all he threw tonight. Talk about putting yourself in a box. He has 8 pitches. We really saw him only throw 2. 87% of the time through the 4-seamer or the sweeper, okay? So that means that he maybe didn't feel like he had his best stuff. He couldn't really jump around and use all of his other pitches that he likes to use. And the Pirates eventually were able to take advantage of that. It's not an easy thing to do, and this is a little bit saying a silver lining, but I like to do that. But you did get him to walk you 3 times, a hit by pitch. So as the game has gone on, we've seen a lot of pitches from him. You do what you got to do to eventually get to a really good pitcher like Ohtani, and they eventually did. And so that's all you can ask for.
I'm going to double down on your point. 34% first pitch strikes.
Crazy.
This is a guy that stays in that 65 to 70%. He's above the league average on most of his starts. The fact he was doing that, he didn't want to come in the zone early, knowing that we could do damage. It started with Horowitz and just kept coming throughout the game, put himself in bad counts where that sweeper had to be the pitch, so he didn't want to just wrinkle in those fastballs at 100.
Shohei, Dave Roberts has shared with us that if you look at your last few outings, you've been dealing with a blister. We saw it was bothering you today. Just what is it like kind of managing that? And clearly you're making your starts, but just how does that feel at the moment?
指の状態とか監督がおっしゃってましたけども、そういうのがちょっと影響しているのかとかありますか？いや、それはあんまりないですかね。最後もどうですかね。1、2塁で2つ取ってからの際どいところ行ってたのでチャレンジしようかどうか迷いましたけど、やっぱり信じてチャレンジをした方が良かったのかなとは、結果的にはそういう感じかなと思います。Yeah, no issues with the blisters. I don't think it's been affecting my performance. Just the last, couple at bats where, I was just hoping. I wish I got some calls my way, but just didn't turn out that way, and that's the part that I wish I could have been able to change a little bit.
Did you want to challenge a couple of those pitches to low?
したい気持ちは。ここら辺までは言ってたんですけどね、最後のもう一歩が、基本的にはキャッチャーがやるという方針ではあるので、相当自信がない限りはやらないんですけど、シチュエーションがシチュエーションだったので、やってもよかったのかなとは今思えば、そういう感じかなと思います。I really got close to doing one. I usually let the catchers make that determination. But looking back, I think situationally how important it was that at bat. Looking back, I think I could have done a few challenges.
Pitched into the 7th a ton this year. Just how did you feel about the execution of your stuff that inning? Was there any fatigue that played into kind of how that played out?
7回は投げてないんですけども、少し疲労とかっていうのがパフォーマンスに影響したのですか？球数的にはそうでもなかったですし、最後もいい感じで2人最後取ってから3オーから打たれた感じではあったので、そこに尽きるかなというか、そこ次第だった。最後2点はもうちょっともったいなかったなという感じかなと思います。Going into that inning, the pitch count was pretty relatively low, so I don't think so. But after the 2 hitters, 2 outs felt pretty good. It was just a misexecution in that 3-0 pitch.
And did you think that one in the 3rd inning was out?
スイングの状態と、ホームラン捉えたのはホームランだと思いましたか？2打席目ですかね。セカンドタイム。そうですね。打った感じは入るだろうなとは思ってたので、取られてなければもちろん入ってたんですけど、そこはいい素晴らしい守備だったなということですかね。Yeah, I felt good off the bat. I thought it was going to be a homer. Looking back at the video, it was a homer, but the left fielder made a fantastic catch and got to tip my cap on that one.
It was your first time throwing to Dalton this year. What was different about that compared to when you've been throwing to Will?
ラッシュとウィルの違いっていうのは何か感じましたかと。
どうですかね、ちょっと首振る回数は多めでしたけど、しょうがないのかなと、1回目のバッテリーではあるので、これから組むこともあると思いますし、そこに向けてまた、次回どうなるかちょっとわからないですけど、話し合っていきたいなと思ってます。
Yeah, I shook a few times more than usual, but I think that's normal given that I haven't really worked with him this year. And, it's something that you just have to have a conversation here and there and be on the same page.
Have you ever seen a more impressive first and second career home run than what he was able to do tonight?
No, I don't know if, especially to hit two on the same night and the second one to put ahead, but then to hit it off of Ohtani and then to have it later in a big moment in the 8th inning. Speechless on that.
That sparked you guys in the 7th, or was it just a matter of finally getting results from the bats?
Off of Ohtani too. I mean, just continue. I think that again, we got the big home runs. It was continuing to keep the line moving, having good at bat after good at bat there later, and we got. It's been a recurrent theme. We were able to get the big hits that we were looking for tonight.
Things really shifted tonight in the 7th inning, whether it was how his work ended, and then of course, as you just talked about with the bullpen. What were you seeing just there in that moment, just as he got deep into his outing?
I thought he still had enough in there to keep going. There was a walk in there. There was some soft contact. That kind of the squibber off that bat, that infield hit, gets a strikeout, and then with the low at bat or low at bat, got behind, and then he went after him, and then he hit a double. So I still felt, we unfortunately we got out of that inning. Gave up another one, but got out of that inning, and I still felt we had the game in hand.
Shohei Ohtani allowed a season-high 3 earned runs in this game. Nomar, what did you see from Shohei?
Well, he was really effective when he was able to execute. And how does he execute when he's at his best? Well, when he stays on the corners. We're going to go to the K-zone and have a look and see how good he is when his fastball, when he's executing that on the corners, stays out of the middle of the plate. Getting with some of the pitches that got hit were over the cross middle of the plate. But, man, he gets 2-2. Look at how nasty he is with these pitches right there where he just stays down on the corner. That glove side, especially in the corner there, that one just throwing it away. Should have got out of the double play, but still doesn't worry about that. Settles in, continues to execute that fastball. Doesn't matter whether it's glove side, arm side, keep it off balance. He's got the slider. Didn't throw too many split fingers. I wonder if it was because of that blister, but he didn't need it. This is what makes him great, because even if he maybe one pitch not able to throw or doesn't have it that day, he can still come at you with that fastball, and he has that fastball command. When he's on the corners, he is so effective, and really was almost just a 2-pitch pitcher the entire time, and still gave him a chance to win.
The one thing he's going to look back, the 3 base on balls, that's going to bother him, but the stuff was there. The makeup obviously is always there. The compete is there. And I love the fact that even when he doesn't have the best command, he continues to fight. And you're right, Omar, they had a situation, if he just throws the ball when he was throwing it to Mookie Betts, it would kind of limit his damage as far as pitch count. He could have got it out of the inning a lot quicker. But he is so fun to watch, especially dropping that sweeper. That has been an incredible pitch for him. And you're right, Omar, not having that split, I wonder, is it him, I threw it a couple times. Maybe that blister, he figures if I throw this 7, 8, 10 times, that might re-aggravate that blister. So, but anytime you're a guy who throws a sweeper and that fastball and you're hitting your spots, really doesn't matter with Shohei's stuff. Again, give us a chance to win. He did that tonight.
I'm really interested is, I know he mentioned first time throwing with Dalton rushing, pitching, and he says, yeah, I shook off more than normal, but that takes time, especially the first time throwing, which definitely is accurate. But I'm also wondering if maybe Dalton was calling maybe some more splits or something else, and he was kind of maybe feeling also like, with that blister, let's kind of lay off, as you mentioned, that I don't want to aggravate it where it becomes something really that maybe have to miss a start, something here or there. So who knows? But at the same time, it doesn't matter. Like I said, you can have something that maybe not working or just can't throw for whatever particular reason, and he still has other stuff to get you out.
What can you appreciate, though, about a guy like Tyler Callahan tonight? His first 2 big league home runs, one off of Ohtani, and the one that makes the biggest difference in this game at that point for your team.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, facing the best player.
and he does that. And then, big situation, hits a changeup. So, yeah, it was awesome.
Spence, I know we're jumping in here, so just wanted to ask you what that moment meant to see Tyler Callahan have the night that he did tonight for this team.
Yeah, we were just talking about it, and a first homer is always special, and then to do it against Shohei makes it even more special, and then to throw a second homer in there to give us the lead in the eighth, it's a storybook ending.
Jared, first and foremost, just wanted to start with your reaction to what Tyler Callahan just put together for your team tonight.
Yeah, that was awesome. Probably one of the best days I've ever seen at the big league level. Homer off Ohtani for your first homer in the big leagues, and then taking the lead with the second homer of the day is unbelievable.
What can you appreciate about the way that offense battled back to end this one on a high note, knowing how good the Dodgers are in a game where Shohei Ohtani is pitching the way he did?
Yeah, obviously we knew we were going to be in for it today, and having the offense come in and really just rake as soon as he came out. And
Jared, can it be just another game, just another at bat when you're starting off against Ohtani to open a game?
It's just another baseball game. There's stars on every team.
Take us through that first homer. What did you feel in that? Because obviously you knew it off the bat, and there aren't many better pitchers to hit the first one off of.
Yeah, I kind of saw what he'd been trying to do to the other lefties, throwing that fastball down a lot, and I knew if I could get one just a little bit elevated, I had a shot. So that was my game plan going into the second at bat.
There's been a lot of negative emotions, but some tough games. As they're just watching that ball sail out, can you just give us your emotion as you're going around and you get into that dugout?
Yeah, obviously I was excited. Sounds cliche, but nothing new. It's the same game. He's a really good pitcher, and I'm grateful I got the opportunity to face him. But yeah, it was amazing.
What do you got on Shohei Ohtani?
I mean, he's doing it. Ohtani is actually doing it. Lester, you and I share a baseball worldview, which is why we get along so well, of course. But one area in which we disagree is the GOAT conversation. You've been steadfast in recent years that you think Shohei Ohtani is that. And I am perhaps one of the last men standing on top of that hill, perhaps even dying on it, saying that Babe Ruth is the GOAT. So, Buster, when the facts change, I change my mind. And the facts right now are suggesting that Shohei Ohtani is not only having a greater season than Babe Ruth ever had, but he's having the greatest live ball season of all time. Here's what I mean. I went to the Fangraphs WAR leaderboard and discovered that he has 2.4 WAR as an offensive player and 3.6 as a pitcher already. We're talking about the first week of June. That puts him on pace for 14.7 wins above replacement this season. Wow. As you well know, anything above 10 is an all-time great season. So here's the context. Babe Ruth's best two-way season produced 10.6 WAR. That was in 1919 when he was the best hitter in the majors and about a league average pitcher in 130 innings. Babe Ruth's best season overall was 1923. He was worth 14.7 WAR that season with his bat all by itself. That remains the most by any player in the live ball era. Buster, I can concede that Shohei Ohtani is a greater two-way player than Babe Ruth ever was. But it has to be acknowledged that Babe Ruth's bat is untouchable. And Babe Ruth's career batting line, it's a 206 OPS plus, is 19% better than any individual season that Ohtani has ever had. That's not on the table for Ohtani. But what is on the table, Buster, is that he is having, or at least on pace to have, the most valuable season that any live ball player has ever had.
Yeah. I mean, he truly is amazing. I think you and I at some point need to come up with a list of two-way players in other sports that would be comparable to this. And maybe, I'm just spitballing out loud here, like the best offensive defensive combination in the NBA. And of course, Michael Jordan would be in that realm. You don't really see two-way players in the NFL anymore the way you did, in the 1940s and 50s. Maybe you could have someone in golf, right, who's a great putter, but also great at driving. I don't know. There's something there, though, because to have Ohtani be so good at two skills that are so different, I think that's what separates him.
いかがでしたでしょうか。このチャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーなどを中心に野球情報をお届けしています。この動画が良かったら高評価、チャンネル登録をよろしくお願いいたします。今回も最後までご覧いただきありがとうございました。それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。